The chance encounter. In the heart of a bustling small town, Johnny Parker was living his dream. He stood behind the counter of Johnny's Diner, his pride and joy, watching as the aroma of freshly cooked burgers wafted through the air. The diner was more than just a business to him. It was a testament to years of hard work, determination, and passion. With every order he served, he felt the weight of his journey, a journey that had begun from nothing. As the bell above the door chimed, signaling the entrance of a customer, Johnny wiped his hands on his apron and turned to greet them. His smile faltered momentarily as he caught sight of a young woman he had never seen before. She was tall, with smooth dark skin and eyes that sparkled like stars against a night sky. Despite the worn edges of her coat and the scuffed heels she wore, there was an undeniable grace about her. "Welcome to Johnny's Diner. What can I get for you today?" Johnny said, his voice warm and inviting. "Just a coffee, please," she replied softly, her voice almost lost in the din of the diner. Black. As Johnny poured her coffee, he couldn't help but strike up a conversation. "New in town?" he asked, glancing up at her. She nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Just got here yesterday. I'm Ashley." "Nice to meet you, Ashley. What brings you to our little town?" "I'm hoping to find work as a model," she said, her voice a mix of hope and uncertainty. Johnny raised an eyebrow, genuinely impressed. "A model? That's quite a dream." Ashley's smile widened, illuminating her face. "It is, but I'm determined to make it happen, no matter what it takes." There was something about Ashley's spirit, her unwavering belief in herself, despite the odds stacked against her, that struck a chord in Johnny. He found himself wanting to know more about her, to understand the dreams that flickered behind her bright eyes. Over the next few weeks, Ashley became a regular at the diner. Each time she came in, Johnny would invite her to stay after hours. They would share simple meals of burgers and fries, engaging in long conversations that stretched into the night. Ashley's laughter filled the diner, her joy infectious. As they talked, Ashley shared her dreams and the challenges she faced. "I've wanted to be a model since I was a little girl," she confided one evening, her hands wrapped around a steaming mug of cocoa. "But growing up, I never saw anyone who looked like me in magazines or on TV. I want to change that." Johnny listened intently, his admiration for her growing with each story. "That's amazing, Ashley. You're going to make a difference. I just know it." As the days turned into weeks, Johnny learned more about Ashley's life. She had grown up in a poor neighborhood, raised by a single mother who worked tirelessly to provide for them. Despite the hardships, Ashley's determination never wavered. "It's been tough," she admitted softly. "I've been to so many auditions, but no one seems to want to give me a chance." Johnny felt a pang of empathy. He reached across the table, gently taking her hand. "Don't give up, Ashley. Your time will come." But despite their growing connection, Johnny could sense Ashley's hesitation. One evening, as they strolled through the quiet streets of their town, she sighed heavily. "Johnny, you're so kind to me," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I can't help feeling like I don't belong in your world. You have this amazing restaurant. Everyone respects you. And me, I'm just chasing a dream that might never come true." Johnny stopped and turned to face her, his heart aching at her words. "Ashley, listen to me. Your dream is what makes you special. It's what drew me to you in the first place. Don't ever think you're not good enough." Tears glistened in Ashley's eyes. "But what if I fail? What if I'm just wasting my time?" Johnny's resolve strengthened. He wanted to chase away her doubts and show her the potential he saw in her, strong, beautiful, and full of life. As their relationship blossomed, the town began to take notice. Whispers and sideways glances followed the couple wherever they went. At first, Johnny tried to ignore it, focusing instead on the warmth of Ashley's smile and the light in her eyes when she talked about her dreams. But soon, the gossip became impossible to ignore. One afternoon, as Johnny was closing up the diner, his longtime friend Mike leaned against the counter, a skeptical look on his face. "You really think this is a good idea, Johnny? Marrying a girl like her?" Johnny felt a mix of anger and protectiveness rise within him. "What do you mean, a girl like her?" "You know what I mean. She's poor, and you've got a future ahead of you. Why risk it?" Mike shrugged, but Johnny could see the judgment in his eyes. For a moment, Johnny was silent, weighing his options. He could feel the weight of the world's expectations pressing down on him, but he wouldn't let it deter him. "Because I believe in her, Mike. She's more than just a girl from a poor background. She's got dreams, and I want to be a part of that." Mike scoffed, crossing his arms. "You're throwing your life away, man. Just wait, you'll see." But Johnny was undeterred. He refused to let others dictate his happiness. As he closed up the diner that night, he felt a sense of clarity wash over him. He would fight for Ashley, for their love, no matter the odds. Little did Johnny know, the journey ahead would be filled with challenges and triumphs, testing the strength of their bond in ways they never could have imagined. As their story unfolded, it would transform from one of doubt and ridicule into a fairy tale that would inspire others to chase their dreams, no matter the obstacles. As he walked home that night, Johnny felt a renewed sense of purpose. He would show the world what true love looked like, and together with Ashley, they would prove that anything was possible, building dreams together. As the days turned into months, Johnny and Ashley's relationship flourished, much like the small garden Ashley had planted in the corner of his diner. Each morning, she would arrive early to help prepare for the day, her laughter filling the air as they worked side by side. She would chop fresh herbs and slice ripe tomatoes while sharing stories of her latest auditions, each tale more ambitious than the last. One morning, as the sun streamed through the diner windows, Johnny turned to Ashley, a playful grin on his face. "You know, I was thinking we should host a little event here, a showcase for local talent. We could invite musicians, poets, and maybe even some models." Ashley's eyes lit up with excitement. "That's a fantastic idea. It would give people a chance to shine, just like I want to do." Johnny felt a surge of pride at her enthusiasm. He had always believed that her dreams were valid, and this was the perfect way to support her ambitions while helping others in their community. They spent the next few weeks planning the event, transforming the diner into a vibrant space filled with creativity and hope. As the day of the showcase approached, whispers about their relationship turned into a cacophony of skepticism and envy. Some townsfolk still couldn't fathom how a successful restaurant owner could be romantically involved with a woman from a humble background. They exchanged glances and whispered behind their backs, but Johnny remained unfazed. He was determined to carve out a future with Ashley, one that defied the norms and expectations of their small town. On the night of the showcase, the diner was filled to capacity. The walls were adorned with colorful artwork created by local artists, and the sound of laughter and music echoed through the space. Johnny stood behind the counter, serving food and drinks, while Ashley mingled with guests, her confidence glowing brighter than ever. As the performances began, Johnny watched with admiration as Ashley took the stage, her heart and soul pouring into each word as she spoke about her dreams. She spoke passionately about representation in the modeling industry, sharing her journey and the struggles she faced. The audience was captivated, and for the first time, Johnny felt the weight of their judgments lift. After her speech, Ashley encouraged others to share their stories. A local musician strummed his guitar, pouring his heart into a song about resilience, and a poet recited verses that spoke of love and hope. Each performance was a testament to the power of dreams, and as Johnny listened, he felt a sense of community blossom within the diner. But amidst the joy, there were still naysayers, a group of young men who had long harbored resentment towards Johnny's success, lingered in the back of the diner, their eyes filled with disdain. They exchanged hushed comments, mocking Johnny and Ashley's relationship. Johnny tried to focus on the event, but their negativity weighed heavily on him. As the night went on, one of the young men, a former friend of Johnny's named Mark, stepped forward. What do you see in her, Johnny? She's just a poor girl chasing a ridiculous dream. You're wasting your time." The room fell silent, all eyes on Johnny. He felt the heat rise in his cheeks, but stood tall, his heart racing. Ashley is a remarkable woman. She's strong, talented, and has dreams worth fighting for. If you can't see that, then maybe it's you who needs to take a good look in the mirror. Mark smirked, clearly unimpressed. "Good luck with that, man. You'll see how this fairy tale ends." Johnny's heart raced, but he refused to let the negativity ruin the night. Instead, he turned back to the crowd, thanking everyone for attending and encouraging them to continue supporting one another. The applause that followed was thunderous, drowning out the whispers of doubt. As the evening wound down, Johnny felt a sense of accomplishment. The showcase had not only given Ashley a platform, but had also strengthened their bond. They stood together, smiling at the remnants of the night. The empty plates, the laughter, and the newfound connections. "That was incredible," Ashley said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I never imagined so many people would show up and be so supportive." Johnny wrapped an arm around her, pulling her close. "You inspired them, Ashley. You showed them what it means to dream big." But deep down, Johnny knew that the night had only been a small victory. As the weeks rolled on, the gossip and judgment continued. While the showcase had drawn in a supportive crowd, there were still those who were unwilling to accept their love. One evening, after a long day at the diner, Ashley arrived at Johnny's apartment, her face pale and her eyes red from crying. "I can't do this anymore, Johnny." The whispers, the stares, they're unbearable. He rushed to her side, concern etched on his face. "What happened?" "I overheard some women at the grocery store. They said I was just using you for your success, that I don't belong in your world." Her voice trembled, and Johnny felt a pang in his heart. "Forget them, Ashley. They don't know you or what we have," he urged gently. "But what if they're right? What if I am just a distraction in your life? What if I'm not strong enough to make my dreams come true?" Tears streamed down her cheeks. Johnny wiped her tears away with his thumb, his heart heavy with emotion. "You are not a distraction. You're my inspiration, and no one can take that away from you. I chose you, and I'll continue to choose you every single day." As they held each other, Johnny felt the weight of their struggles lifting, if only for a moment. He wanted to show Ashley that their love was worth fighting for. They could conquer the doubts of others together. Days turned into weeks, and although the challenges remained, Johnny and Ashley found solace in each other. They worked late nights at the diner, pouring their hearts into their dreams. Ashley started booking small modeling gigs, each one fueling her passion further. Their relationship deepened, and soon, Johnny found himself contemplating a future beyond their shared dreams. He wanted to marry Ashley, to solidify their commitment in a way that would silence the critics once and for all. But he knew he had to choose the right moment. One afternoon, as they sat in the diner after hours, Johnny looked across the table at Ashley, her eyes glowing with ambition and determination. He could see the woman she was becoming, a beacon of hope for herself and others. "Ashley," he began, his voice steady yet filled with emotion, "what would you say if I told you I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you?" Her eyes widened, surprise and joy swirling in her gaze. "Are you serious?" "I am," he replied, his heart pounding. "I want to marry you. I want to build a life with you, one where we chase our dreams together, no matter what others say." Ashley's laughter filled the room, a sound that echoed with happiness. Yes, 1,000 times, yes. In that moment, the noise of the outside world faded away, leaving only the two of them, a couple bound by love, dreams, and a fierce determination to overcome any obstacles that stood in their way. As they embraced, Johnny felt a sense of peace wash over him. They were embarking on a journey that would not only challenge them but would also inspire others. He knew the road ahead would be filled with trials, but together, they could face anything. Little did they know, the real test of their love and commitment was just around the corner, ready to shape their destiny in ways they could never have imagined. The wedding and the unexpected guests. The months flew by, and as spring approached, Johnny and Ashley's excitement grew. They had decided to marry in the diner, a place that had become a symbol of their love, a sanctuary filled with laughter, dreams, and the aromas of home-cooked meals. They envisioned a small ceremony, surrounded by close friends, family, and the community that had supported them through thick and thin. The day arrived, and the diner was transformed into a beautiful venue. Johnny had strung fairy lights across the ceiling, and vibrant flowers adorned each table. He watched in awe as Ashley flitted about, her infectious laughter bringing joy to everyone around her. She looked stunning in a simple white dress that flowed like a soft breeze, the fabric highlighting her graceful figure. As they stood at the front of the diner, Johnny felt a mix of nervousness and exhilaration. The room was filled with friends and supporters. Marge, the diner's beloved waitress, had arranged flowers, while Johnny's loyal customers had all chipped in to make the day special. It felt like a celebration not just of their love, but of the community that had embraced them. When the officiant began the ceremony, Johnny's heart raced. He could barely focus on the words being spoken, his attention solely on Ashley. She radiated happiness, her eyes sparkling with hope and love. He took her hands in his, feeling the warmth of her skin against his. "Do you, Johnny, take Ashley to be your lawfully wedded wife?" the officiant asked, his voice resonating in the quiet diner. "I do," Johnny replied, his voice steady, a sense of purpose swelling within him. "And do you, Ashley, take Johnny to be your lawfully wedded husband?" With a wide smile, Ashley declared, "I do." As they exchanged rings, the crowd erupted in applause, filling the diner with a chorus of joy. Johnny slipped the ring onto Ashley's finger, and the moment felt monumental. In that instant, he vowed to protect her dreams and nurture their love, no matter what challenges lay ahead. After the ceremony, they celebrated with food, laughter, and heartfelt speeches. Johnny's heart swelled as friends shared stories about them, how they had met, the challenges they had faced, and the unwavering love that had brought them to this moment. Each word felt like a promise for the future they were building together. As the night wore on, Ashley pulled Johnny aside, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "This is everything I dreamed it would be. I can't believe we're finally married." Johnny smiled, pulling her close. "We did it together, just like we've done everything else." However, amidst the joy, Johnny couldn't shake the feeling that something was lurking just outside their happiness. Rumors and whispers had not disappeared. They had merely transformed into a simmering resentment among some who believed that Johnny was throwing his future away on a woman they deemed unworthy. As if on cue, a group of familiar faces appeared at the diner's entrance, casting long shadows across the celebration. Johnny recognized them instantly. Mark and his friends, the same group that had openly mocked his relationship with Ashley. They stood at the door, arms crossed, wearing expressions that ranged from disdain to amusement. The laughter and music within the diner faded as all eyes turned to the newcomers. Johnny felt his stomach drop. He had hoped their wedding would be a moment of unity, not one marred by confrontation. Mark sauntered in, a smirk plastered across his face. "Well, well, if it isn't the happy couple. This is quite the gathering, isn't it?" Ashley glanced up at Johnny, her eyes wide with concern. Johnny's protective instincts kicked in. "What do you want, Mark?" he asked, his voice firm. "Just came to see what all the fuss was about. You know, I've heard the diner's been getting a lot of attention since you two started dating. Figure I should check it out," Mark said, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Maybe you should leave," Johnny suggested, his jaw clenched. "This is our wedding, and we want to celebrate without your negativity." "Oh, come on, Johnny. I'm just here to offer my congratulations," Mark replied, feigning innocence. "Ashley, how does it feel to have bagged a guy like him? I mean, are you really that good at cooking, or just really lucky?" The laughter from Mark's friends echoed in the diner, cutting through the joy of the celebration. Johnny felt the anger rise within him, But before he could respond, Ashley stepped forward, her voice steady and calm. "Mark, if you came here to ruin our special day, then you can leave. I'm proud of who I am and what I'm doing, and I won't let you belittle me or my dreams." The room fell silent, everyone taken aback by Ashley's boldness. Johnny's heart swelled with pride. This was the woman he loved, a woman unafraid to stand up for herself. Mark's expression shifted, confusion replacing his earlier bravado. "Oh, so you think you're all that now, just because you married the big man?" Johnny stepped in, his voice firm. "Ashley is not just a trophy, Mark. She's an incredible person with dreams and ambitions. I'm proud to stand by her side, and if you can't respect that, then you don't belong here." With that, Johnny took Ashley's hand, and together they turned their backs on Mark and his friends. The diner erupted in applause, a clear signal of support from those who understood the power of love and resilience. Mark and his friends exchanged glances, their smirks fading as they slowly retreated, realizing they were no longer in control. The celebration continued, and the atmosphere shifted back to joy. Guests resumed their conversations, laughter filling the air as if the dark cloud had been lifted. Johnny and Ashley took a moment to catch their breath. "I can't believe you stood up to him like that," Johnny said, admiration shining in his eyes. Ashley smiled, her confidence bolstered. "I had to. This is our life, and I won't let anyone take that away from us." As the evening continued, Johnny and Ashley danced together, lost in each other's arms. The outside world faded away, leaving only the warmth of their love and the promise of a future filled with possibilities. But as they twirled on the dance floor, Johnny couldn't shake the feeling that their challenges were far from over. The whispers of doubt had transformed into a tangible force, one that would test the strength of their love in ways they could never have anticipated. After the celebration wound down, Johnny and Ashley found themselves in the quiet of the diner, the remnants of their wedding still visible, the flowers, the leftover food, and the lingering scent of joy. They embraced, feeling the warmth of their connection amidst the chaos of the day. "This feels perfect," Ashley whispered, resting her head on Johnny's shoulder. "Just wait," Johnny replied with a grin. "The adventure has only just begun." With that thought in mind, they knew they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would build a life worth living, one filled with dreams, love, and the unwavering belief that they could overcome anything as long as they stood united. Trials and triumphs. The weeks following their wedding were a whirlwind of excitement and new beginnings for Johnny and Ashley. The diner thrived as word spread about the couple's love story and the community event they had hosted. Locals began to flock to Johnny's diner, not just for the delicious food but to witness the undeniable chemistry between the newlyweds. The diner became a hub of inspiration, a place where dreams were nurtured and stories shared. As the summer approached, Johnny and Ashley decided to expand the diner's offerings. They introduced themed nights, open mic Wednesdays for local talent, soul food Sundays celebrating Ashley's heritage, and art exhibits featuring local artists. Each event drew in more patrons, and the diner's atmosphere buzzed with creativity and connection. Ashley, fueled by her newfound confidence and the support of her community, began pursuing modeling opportunities more aggressively. She attended auditions and workshops, determined to break into an industry that had long been closed off to her. Johnny was her biggest supporter, attending her auditions and offering words of encouragement that lifted her spirits. However, not everyone in their small town was supportive. The whispers of doubt that had initially followed their relationship transformed into outright hostility. Some of Johnny's old friends were unable to accept his choice, viewing Ashley as an outsider who didn't belong in their circle. The divide grew, and Johnny found himself at a crossroads. One evening, after a successful open mic night at the diner, Johnny received a text from Mark. "We need to talk," it read. A mix of apprehension and curiosity filled him. He had hoped that their confrontation at the wedding would put an end to Mark's negativity, but it seemed that the battle was far from over. Reluctantly, Johnny agreed to meet Mark at a nearby bar, a place where they had spent countless evenings during their youth. As he walked in, he spotted Mark sitting at the bar, nursing a drink. The atmosphere felt heavy, the tension palpable. Johnny took a deep breath and approached. "Mark," he greeted, taking a seat next to him. "What's this about?" Mark turned to face him, his expression unreadable. "I wanted to clear the air. I've been thinking a lot about you and Ashley." Johnny felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "And I don't want to see you get hurt, man. You're making a mistake," Mark said, his voice low. "What do you mean?" Johnny shot back, frustration creeping in. "Ashley is amazing. She supports my dreams, and I support hers. We're building something real together." Mark sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "Look, I get that you're in love, but do you really think this will last? She's not from our world, Johnny. You're putting everything you've worked for at risk." The words stung, echoing the doubts that had lingered in Johnny's mind since the start of their relationship. "Ashley is a fighter. She has more drive and passion than anyone I know. She deserves to be supported, not judged." Mark raised his eyebrows. "And what happens when the fairy tale ends? You think she'll stick around when things get tough?" "Things are tough right now," Johnny replied, his voice steady. "But we're facing it together. That's what love is about, supporting each other through the highs and lows." Mark scoffed, shaking his head. "You're blinded by love. Man, you'll see." With that, Johnny stood up, feeling the weight of Mark's words heavy on his heart. He didn't want to fight. He wanted to believe in the love he shared with Ashley. As he walked away, he felt a sense of resolve settle in. He would not let the doubts of others dictate the course of his life. Back at the diner, Ashley was closing up after a long day. The two of them often stayed late to clean up and reflect on their day, sharing dreams and plans for the future. As Johnny entered, he noticed the look of concern on her face. "How was your meeting?" she asked, wiping her hands on a towel. Johnny hesitated for a moment, debating whether to share his encounter with Mark. "It was fine. Just some old friends catching up." Ashley's brow furrowed, and he could see the worry in her eyes. "You know, you can talk to me about anything, right?" He nodded, grateful for her support. "I know, and I appreciate that. It's just, things have been tense with some people in town." "Like Mark," Ashley guessed, her tone gentle yet firm. "Yeah. He doesn't think I should be with you. He's worried about what others might say," Johnny admitted, running a hand through his hair. "But I don't care what they think. I love you, and I'm proud of what we're building together." Ashley's face softened, and she stepped closer to him. "I love you too, Johnny. But I won't lie. Sometimes it's hard to ignore the whispers." Johnny wrapped his arms around her, feeling the weight of their challenges settle between them. "We'll get through this together. I promise." As they stood there, the world outside felt distant. But reality had a way of creeping in, and soon enough, Ashley faced her own set of challenges. The following weeks saw Ashley landing a few small modeling gigs, but they were often accompanied by harsh criticisms. Some clients appreciated her uniqueness, while others were less than kind. One day, after a particularly tough shoot where she felt out of place, she returned home in tears. Johnny was at the diner, preparing for the evening rush when he received a call from Ashley. "Can you meet me at the park?" she asked, her voice shaky. "Of course, I'll be right there," he replied, sensing the urgency in her tone. When he arrived at the park, he found Ashley sitting on a bench, her face buried in her hands. His heart sank at the sight. He rushed to her side and knelt beside her. "What happened?" "It was awful," she choked out between sobs. "The photographer said I wasn't what they were looking for. He told me I needed to lose weight, change my look. I don't know if I can keep doing this." Johnny's heart ached for her. "Ashley, listen to me. You are beautiful just the way you are. They don't define your worth. You do. Don't let their narrow-mindedness dim your light." Ashley looked up at him, Her eyes filled with vulnerability. "But it hurts. I want to be accepted, to prove that I belong in this industry." "You belong wherever you choose to be," Johnny said firmly. "If they can't see your value, then they're not worth your time. You have so much to offer, your story, your strength. You're already changing the narrative." As they sat there, Johnny felt a surge of determination. He wanted to help Ashley fight back against the negativity she faced. Together, they could amplify her voice and share her story, inspiring others who felt marginalized or unseen. The following days, Johnny brainstormed ideas to create a platform for Ashley and others like her. He envisioned a campaign centered around celebrating diversity in beauty, a way to challenge the industry's standards and uplift those who had been overlooked. Ashley was intrigued, and they began drafting plans for a social media initiative. Together, they created an online campaign titled True Beauty. They shared Ashley's story, her journey in the modeling world, and her commitment to changing perceptions of beauty. They encouraged others to share their stories and celebrate their unique qualities. As the campaign gained traction, the community began to rally around them. People from all walks of life started sharing their experiences, turning the initiative into a movement. It became a safe space for discussions about self-acceptance and resilience, and Johnny watched in awe as Ashley's confidence soared. But with success came more scrutiny. The same people who had doubted their relationship began to scrutinize the campaign, labeling it as a publicity stunt. The whispers grew louder, and the negativity surrounding them intensified. One evening, as they were preparing for another open mic night, Johnny overheard a couple of patrons at the diner discussing the campaign. "It's just a gimmick to get attention," one said dismissively. "He thinks he can save her." Johnny's heart sank. He felt the weight of their judgments creeping back in, threatening to overshadow the positive change they were trying to create. After closing up, he shared his frustrations with Ashley. "I can't believe how cruel people can be. They don't understand what we're trying to do." Ashley took a deep breath, her eyes steady. "We can't let them stop us, Johnny. This campaign isn't just about me. It's about everyone who feels like they don't fit the mold. We have to keep pushing forward, no matter what." With renewed determination, they continued their campaign, reaching more people than they had ever imagined. Each story shared became a thread in a tapestry of resilience, a testament to the power of unity. As summer rolled into fall, Johnny and Ashley faced challenges with unwavering resolve. Their love deepened as they navigated the complexities of life together, proving that they were stronger as a team. And in the face of adversity, they discovered a profound truth. Love, when rooted in respect and understanding, could conquer even the darkest doubts. But little did they know, the true test of their strength was just around the corner, waiting to challenge everything they had built together. The unexpected challenge. As autumn painted the town in vibrant hues of red and gold, Johnny and Ashley's campaign, True Beauty, continued to flourish. The diner buzzed with energy as more people came in to support the initiative, sharing their own stories of resilience and triumph. Each week brought new faces and fresh voices, and the sense of community grew stronger. Yet, amidst the successes, an unexpected challenge loomed on the horizon. It began with a message that Johnny received late one night after closing the diner. He glanced at his phone, noting the unfamiliar number. Curious, he opened the message, only to be met with a torrent of vitriol. "Your little campaign is a joke. You're just using Ashley to gain popularity. Everyone sees it." Johnny's heart raced as he read the words again, the sting of each sentence hitting him hard. He had anticipated some backlash. Every movement faced criticism, but this felt personal. He knew they were making waves, but this level of animosity was unnerving. Shaking his head, Johnny decided to ignore the message. He was determined not to let negativity distract him from their mission. The next morning, he shared the message with Ashley, hoping to find solace in her understanding. "That's just one person's opinion," Ashley said, trying to reassure him. "We're reaching so many others. Remember, for every negative voice, there are 10 more supporting us. Johnny nodded, appreciating her positivity, but he couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The campaign had attracted attention, and with it, the scrutiny intensified. They had become a beacon of hope for some, but a target for others. As the weeks went by, Ashley received a few modeling opportunities, but they came with their own set of challenges. One afternoon, she was invited to a prestigious fashion show, a dream opportunity that sent her heart racing. Yet the excitement was accompanied by anxiety. What if she didn't fit the mold they expected? What if the harsh criticisms from the industry resurfaced? Johnny sensed her apprehension as they sat together at the diner, discussing the details. "You're going to rock it," he said, determination lacing his words. "Just be yourself. You've already inspired so many. Remember why you started." Ashley took a deep breath, a mix of excitement and fear swirling within her. "I know, but what if they don't see me the way you do? What if I'm not enough?" "Enough is a word that others created to keep people in boxes," Johnny replied, his voice steady. "You are more than enough, and you will shine at that show." As the day of the fashion show approached, Ashley prepared tirelessly. She practiced her walk, chose her outfits with care, and visualized herself on that runway, radiating confidence. Johnny stood by her side, cheering her on every step of the way. The evening of the show arrived, and the atmosphere was electric. The venue buzzed with excitement, with models bustling backstage, photographers snapping pictures, and designers showcasing their latest creations. Johnny watched Ashley transform into a radiant force as she donned her first outfit. "I can't believe I'm actually here," Ashley marveled, her eyes wide with wonder. "You belong here," Johnny affirmed, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Now go out there and show them your beauty." As Ashley stepped onto the runway, the lights illuminated her figure and the crowd fell silent. Johnny held his breath, his heart pounding in his chest. She walked with grace and confidence, her head held high, every step a declaration of her worth. But as she reached the end of the runway, Johnny noticed a group of attendees whispering to one another. He couldn't make out their words, but the dismissive gestures sent a chill through him. Had they come to watch or to judge? The show concluded, and the audience erupted into applause. Ashley walked off the runway, her face glowing with joy. Johnny rushed to her side, pride swelling in his chest. "You did it. You were incredible." But Ashley's smile faded as she noticed the lingering stares and whispers from the crowd. "Did you see them? They didn't like me. I felt their judgment." "Forget them," Johnny insisted. "You were phenomenal. You showed them your strength, your beauty, and that's what matters." As they left the venue, Johnny held her hand tightly, but Ashley's mind was elsewhere. The criticisms were haunting her. She had fought hard to get there, yet the fear of rejection still loomed large. In the days following the fashion show, the negativity reached a boiling point. Online trolls began to target both Johnny and Ashley, spamming their social media accounts with hateful comments about their relationship and Ashley's appearance. The barrage of negativity hit Ashley hard, and she found herself withdrawing into a shell. Johnny noticed the change in her. She became quieter, her laughter dimming, and he felt the helplessness creep in. "Ashley, talk to me. I can't stand seeing you like this," he urged one evening as they cleaned up the diner after another busy night. "I don't know how to deal with this," she admitted, tears glistening in her eyes. "I thought I could handle the scrutiny, but it's overwhelming. Maybe Mark was right. Maybe I'm just a distraction for you, and I'm not cut out for this industry." Johnny's heart sank. "Don't say that. You are not a distraction. You're my partner, my equal. We're in this together, remember. I just wanted to be accepted, to feel like I belonged," Ashley whispered, her voice breaking. He took her hands in his, looking deep into her eyes. "You belong right here with me. In this diner, in this community. You've inspired so many people, including me. You are beautiful, inside and out, and no one can take that away from you." Ashley shook her head, the tears spilling over. But what if it's not enough? What if I'm not enough? Johnny pulled her into an embrace, holding her tightly. You are more than enough. We will rise above this together. You have a voice, and it deserves to be heard. Let's take this negativity and turn it into something powerful. Fueled by a newfound determination, they decided to hold a town hall event at the diner, inviting everyone to discuss the importance of representation and acceptance in the modeling industry. They wanted to create a safe space for people to share their stories and stand together against the negativity that threatened to tear them apart. As the date of the event approached, the community buzzed with anticipation. The diner filled with familiar faces, eager to support Johnny and Ashley. Marge helped set up the space, arranging chairs and tables, while local artists donated their work to create an inspiring atmosphere. The evening of the town hall arrived, and as Johnny looked around at the gathered crowd, he felt a mix of nerves and excitement. He took a deep breath and stepped to the front of the room, his heart pounding. "Thank you all for being here tonight," he began, his voice steady. "We've come together to discuss something that is often overlooked, the importance of representation and the power of our stories. We want to create a community that celebrates diversity and uplifts every voice." As he spoke, Ashley watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride. Johnny's passion radiated throughout the diner, igniting a fire within everyone present. People began to share their stories, tales of overcoming adversity, embracing their identities, and supporting one another through difficult times. When it was Ashley's turn to speak, she felt a surge of nerves. She stepped up to the front, her hands trembling slightly. But as she looked out at the faces of her friends and supporters, she felt the warmth of their encouragement. "I've faced many challenges in pursuing my dreams," she said, her voice gaining strength. "But I've learned that our differences are what make us beautiful. It's time to embrace who we are, not hide from it." The crowd erupted in applause, and Ashley felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had found her voice, and with it, the realization that she was not alone. As the evening progressed, the conversation grew deeper and more meaningful. The atmosphere in the diner shifted from one of uncertainty to empowerment. Together, they were creating a movement that challenged the norms and celebrated every individual's unique journey. But as the event concluded and the guests began to leave, Johnny noticed a group of familiar faces lingering at the back. Mark and his friends had returned, their expressions unreadable. Johnny felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He braced himself for another confrontation, unsure of what would happen next. Mark stepped forward, an air of defiance surrounding him. "So this is your big moment, huh? A town hall to talk about acceptance. What a joke." Ashley's expression hardened, and Johnny placed a protective hand on her back. "What do you want, Mark?" "I came to see if you two are really as happy as you claim to be," he sneered, "or if this is just another act for attention." The air in the diner grew tense, and the laughter from earlier faded. Johnny felt a surge of anger, but he took a deep breath, focusing on Ashley beside him. "Our happiness is real, Mark. You're the one stuck in your outdated mindset. This is about so much more than us. It's about building a community that stands up against hate and judgment." Mark scoffed, clearly unfazed. "Good luck with that. People like you don't belong in this world." Before Johnny could respond, Ashley stepped forward, her voice steady and fierce. "You don't get to dictate who belongs anywhere, Mark. Our love and our campaign are about inclusion and acceptance. We're not backing down, no matter what you say." The tension hung in the air, but this time it was different. There was a strength in Ashley's words that resonated with everyone in the diner. As Mark and his friends exchanged glances, they seemed to falter, the power of the community's support washing over them. Johnny's heart swelled with pride for Ashley. They were stronger together, united by a love that defied the odds. Mark and his friends hesitated, and for a moment, it seemed like they might leave without further confrontation. But just as they turned to go, Mark sneered one last time. "Enjoy your little fairy tale while it lasts." As the door swung shut behind them, The energy in the diner shifted once more. Johnny felt a mixture of anger and relief. They had stood up for their love and their cause, and the support from their community only reinforced their determination. As the evening drew to a close, Ashley turned to Johnny, her eyes shining with gratitude. "I can't believe how far we've come. I feel like I've finally found my voice. And I'll always be here to support you," Johnny replied, pulling her close. "No matter what happens, we face it together." As they locked eyes, both of them knew the journey was far from over. The challenges they faced were merely stepping stones on the path to something greater. They would continue to fight for their love, their dreams, and for everyone who felt marginalized or unseen. With renewed strength and unwavering commitment, Johnny and Ashley prepared to face whatever the future held. Together, they were unstoppable. The turning point. As winter approached, the warmth of community and love enveloped Johnny and Ashley like a thick, cozy blanket. Their campaign, True Beauty, had gained momentum, sparking conversations far beyond the small town. They received messages from people across the country, sharing their own struggles and triumphs. With each story, Johnny and Ashley felt more determined than ever to continue their work, igniting a movement that celebrated diversity and self-acceptance. However, the lingering negativity from some locals, particularly Mark and his friends, cast a shadow over their progress. Despite the overwhelming support they received, the taunts and skepticism didn't entirely fade. One afternoon, while Johnny was prepping for lunch service, Ashley came in looking troubled. "Johnny, I just got off the phone with a magazine editor. They're interested in featuring our campaign," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. "That's amazing," he exclaimed, his heart swelling with pride. "This is exactly what we need to take our message further." But Ashley hesitated, biting her lip. "The editor mentioned they want to do a profile on us, but they've heard the rumors. They're concerned about how the town perceives our relationship." Johnny felt a knot form in his stomach. "Are they suggesting we pull back? That we shouldn't talk about it?" "No, not exactly," Ashley replied. "They want to highlight the positive aspects of our story, but they also want to ensure we're not at risk of backlash." For a moment, silence hung between them. Johnny's mind raced with thoughts of what could be. They had worked too hard to let fear dictate their next steps. "Ashley, this is our chance to make a real difference. If we back down now, it'll just give the haters more power." Ashley nodded, her eyes brightening. "You're right. If we don't stand up for ourselves, who will?" As the days went by, they prepared for the magazine feature with a newfound sense of purpose. They shared their story, their struggles, and their vision for a more inclusive future. The day of the photo shoot arrived, and Johnny could see Ashley glowing with confidence as she posed for the camera. But just as they were starting to feel the excitement of their journey, the unthinkable happened. A few days after the article was published, the backlash hit like a tidal wave. Johnny awoke one morning to find the diner's social media flooded with hateful comments. The negativity surged, drowning out the supportive messages. "Get out of our town. Your campaign is a disgrace. Why don't you go back to where you came from?" Johnny's heart sank as he scrolled through the comments. Each hateful message felt like a knife stabbing at the heart of their dreams. He could hardly breathe as he glanced at Ashley, who stood beside him, her expression a mix of shock and hurt. "They're attacking us because of who we are," she said, her voice trembling. "What if this ruins everything we've worked for?" Johnny took a deep breath, forcing back the surge of anger. "We can't let them win. We've come too far to back down now. This is our moment to show them that love and acceptance are stronger than hate." With determination igniting within him, Johnny rallied the community once more. He organized a town hall meeting to address the backlash, inviting everyone, supporters, detractors, and those who had remained silent. They needed to foster an open dialogue to confront the negativity head-on. On the night of the meeting, the diner was packed. The air was thick with tension as Johnny stood at the front, his heart racing. Ashley stood beside him, her presence a steadying force. "Thank you all for coming," Johnny began, looking out at the familiar faces in the crowd. "We're here to talk about the recent backlash regarding our campaign. This isn't just about us. It's about our community and how we treat one another." As he spoke, he felt the weight of the room shift. Some attendees shifted uncomfortably, while others listened intently. "We've created a platform to celebrate diversity and self-acceptance. We believe that every person deserves to feel beautiful, regardless of their background or appearance." Johnny took a deep breath, steadying himself. "I understand that some of you might feel uncomfortable with change, but this isn't just about Ashley and me. It's about creating a community where everyone feels included. We all deserve to live without fear of judgment." Ashley stepped forward, her voice strong and clear. "I've faced so much negativity since I began pursuing my dreams, but I've also found a community of support that inspires me. We're not asking for permission. We're asking for understanding and acceptance." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd, and Johnny saw heads nodding in recognition. "If we want to be a town that thrives, we need to lift each other up, not tear each other down," he continued. "Let's challenge ourselves to embrace our differences rather than shun them." The room grew quiet, the weight of Johnny and Ashley's words hanging in the air. Then, to Johnny's surprise, a familiar face from the crowd stood up. Marge, the diner's beloved waitress. "I've been working at this diner for years, and I've seen the struggles that so many people face," she said, her voice steady. "When I look at Johnny and Ashley, I see love and hope. They're not just running a campaign. They're trying to make this town a better place for everyone." With her words, others began to chime in, sharing their experiences of feeling marginalized or judged. One by one, people began to speak, opening up about their own journeys, stories of overcoming adversity, battling self-doubt, and fighting against societal norms echoed throughout the diner. As the evening progressed, the atmosphere shifted from one of hostility to solidarity. The community began to unite, realizing that the very fabric of their town was woven with diverse stories and experiences. At the end of the meeting, Johnny felt a surge of hope. "Let's continue this conversation. We can create a town where everyone feels welcome, no matter who they are. Together, we can make a difference." As the crowd dispersed, Ashley turned to Johnny, her eyes shimmering with pride. "You did it. We did it." In that moment, they both felt the weight of their challenges lift, replaced by a sense of empowerment. They had faced the negativity head-on, and the community had responded with unity. The battle against hatred wasn't over, but they were no longer fighting alone. The following weeks saw a shift in the town's dynamic. More people began to speak up in support of Ashley and Johnny, challenging the prejudices that had long lingered in the shadows. True beauty gained momentum, becoming a rallying cry for acceptance. One day, while Ashley was preparing for another photo shoot, Johnny received a surprise email from a well-known fashion brand that wanted to collaborate with them. The email expressed admiration for their campaign and a desire to feature Ashley as a model, highlighting her story of resilience and empowerment. "Johnny, look at this," Ashley exclaimed, holding up her phone. "They want to feature me." Overwhelmed with joy, Johnny hugged her tightly. "This is incredible. This is everything we've been working for." The news spread like wildfire, and the excitement in the diner was palpable. Supporters from all over the town came in to celebrate the moment, eager to uplift Ashley's journey and share in her success. But with the excitement came the inevitable scrutiny. Just as the fashion brand's announcement hit social media, the trolls resurfaced, unleashing a barrage of hate. They labeled Ashley's collaboration as a publicity stunt, dismissing her accomplishments as mere gimmicks. One evening, as they sat together in the diner, the weight of the negativity pressed heavily on Ashley's heart. "I thought we were moving forward, but it feels like we're taking 2 steps back," she said, her voice heavy with doubt. "Listen," Johnny said, taking her hands in his. "This isn't just about you anymore. It's about everyone who's ever felt unworthy, every person who's been told they don't belong. You have to rise above it and show them what true beauty really is." Ashley nodded, tears pooling in her eyes. "I'd want to, but it's so hard. We've faced challenges before, and we've come out stronger. This is just another test, and we'll face it together," Johnny replied, his voice unwavering. The next day, Ashley made a decision that would change everything. She crafted a heartfelt message for her social media followers, addressing the negativity head-on. In her post, she spoke candidly about her journey, the struggles she faced, and the importance of embracing one's identity. "I am proud of who I am," she wrote. "I am not just a model. I am a voice for those who feel unheard. If you're facing judgment or hate, know that you are not alone. Together, we can create a world where love triumphs over hate." The post resonated with her followers, and the support poured in. People began sharing their own stories, standing in solidarity with Ashley. The tide began to shift, and the narrative of the campaign transformed into one of resilience and community. As the fashion brand's collaboration approached, Ashley felt a renewed sense of purpose. The upcoming photo shoot wasn't just an opportunity for her. It was a chance to showcase the strength of their message to a wider audience. The day of the shoot arrived, and the energy in the air was electric. As the cameras flashed and the team rallied around her, Ashley felt a wave of confidence wash over her. She was no longer just a girl with a dream. She was a beacon of hope for many. When the magazine hit the stands, Johnny and Ashley held their breath. They knew the feature would draw attention, both positive and negative, but they were ready to face whatever came their way. As they flipped through the pages, Johnny's heart swelled with pride. There, amidst the stunning visuals, was Ashley, radiant and unapologetically herself. The article celebrated her journey, her passion, and the community that stood behind her. In the following days, the response was overwhelming. The article sparked conversations across social media, igniting discussions about diversity, acceptance, and love. People who had once remained silent began to share their own stories, creating a ripple effect of empowerment. But just as they celebrated their victories, they realized that Mark and his friends weren't going to back down easily. They began a smear campaign, targeting both the diner and Ashley's newfound fame. It was relentless, with rumors spreading like wildfire, trying to undermine everything they had built. Johnny felt the familiar surge of anger, but this time, he channeled it into action. Together with Ashley, they organized a rally to promote acceptance and love within their community. They wanted to show that hate would not prevail. On the day of the rally, the streets filled with supporters carrying signs of encouragement and love. Johnny and Ashley stood together at the front, overwhelmed by the sea of faces united for a common cause. "Today, we stand together," Johnny called out, his voice ringing clear. "We reject hate and embrace love, diversity, and acceptance." As the crowd erupted in cheers, Ashley felt a sense of empowerment she had never experienced before. This was not just their battle. It was a collective movement, a tapestry woven with stories of resilience and triumph. As they spoke, the weight of negativity began to lift. Each chant, each cheer, felt like a step forward. The community had come together, proving that love was far stronger than hate. As the rally came to a close, Johnny and Ashley stood hand in hand, feeling the support of their friends and neighbors. They had faced their trials, risen above the challenges, and united their town in a powerful message of acceptance. As the sun set on that day, illuminating the sky with hues of orange and pink, Johnny and Ashley looked at each other, their hearts full of hope. They had faced the storm, and together, they had emerged stronger than ever. But they knew their journey was far from over. The fight for acceptance and love was ongoing, and they were ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, together.